I'm Lauren, and this is Eric, and we're going to give you 5 tips on how we survived our long distance relationship while we were working seasonal jobs. The first tip that we have is that we tried to see each other at least once a month when we could. This was really hard because a lot of the times, like, we didn't have the money to see each other, and we lived sometimes like 15 hours away from each other, like when I lived in Texas and you lived in Michigan. What was one of the favorite times that you can remember of when we saw each other?
Uh, Galveston, Texas.
Galveston,
Valentine's
Texas.
Day 2016?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really fun. We went kayaking. I found a Groupon online and it was amazing. And we ate an oyster like right from the bay, which was really cool. And I also remember when we went to Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota. That one was really cool because the views were like unlike anything I've ever seen. And it was just so pretty. Our second tip is that we had good communication. This is really hard when you're in a long distance relationship because sometimes you run out of things to say. But what we did was we Skyped a lot. We would just make sure that we told each other like what our day was like, and we would call each other whenever we got a chance. Sometimes I would call you really early in the morning or really late at night, and but we never got tired of seeing each other through Skype or anything like that. Our third tip is that we always supported each other. This is the main reason why we stay together, I think. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Support our dreams and adventures.
Yeah, whenever we started dreaming about something or we would talk about applying for a job somewhere and neither of us would freak out, we would just be like, yeah, absolutely. You should definitely do that. That's a great opportunity. And we even do that today, because he still supports me, like being in this video. Also, number 4 is trust each other. You have to when you live that far away from each other. Like you can't fight every day about like, what are you doing? Who are you with? Like we just were like, hey, I trust you. You are mine. And we talked about any problems we were having. And yeah, what do you think about that?
You're the good communicator.
And our last tip is that we would make compromises. Sometimes in a long distance relationship, you start thinking selfishly, you're like, well, maybe if I did it this way, then, I don't need him or something, or vice versa. You're like, why are we doing this? This is so hard. Well, you, at the end of the day, realize that he is your support system, or I realized that you are my support system, and that I had to make compromises because it was too hard to live without him. And so that's what led me to Toledo, and that's what brought you to St. Louis.
Yep.
And those are our 5 tips, and hopefully you can relate or it helps you out.